we go.
Hey, this is Rick Reinbold, Village President.
Hi, I'm Julian Alexander, trustee of the Village of Richmond Park.
And I love the Mathell Givens Show.
Keep it here, keep it locked on the Mathell Givens radio show.
Well, all right, everybody. Welcome to the Good News Show. I'm your girl. I'm the host of the Good News Show. And you know, on this show, we don't play nothing but good music, and we talk about nothing but good news. And you're tuned in and you're locked in. Run, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell them, hey, we just came on, and they're just in time. So, all right, everybody. You know, I'm your girl. I'm the author of a book called Angels in My Life. You all are angels in my life. We have a very special angel on with us tonight. Mr. Josef Michael Carr. He is running for state representative of the 25th district. All right, you don't want to miss this show. This is some great information. And if you don't live in that area, I know you know somebody that do. So stay tuned and just be right here and listen to this great show here tonight. Okay? So listen, without any further delays, we want to bring him on. But first of all, I want to tell you all, we're missing our co-host. Oh, Van, the man is not with us tonight. And you know, he loves you. He really do. But deep down in his heart, oh my God, you all are in his spirit. He has already told me to make sure that I express his love and how he's missing you. And when he comes back, he's going to have a whole lot to say when he does come back. So listen, I'm just getting ready to get this show on the road right now. So without any further delays, everybody, just get ready. I wished I could sing like Van the Man, because you know Van the Man open up the show and he'd be like, oh, it's something about tonight, y'all. You know, he'd be just singing and carrying on. I wished I could get down like him, but I can't. But anyway, I can do this. I can get ready and bring to the mic without any further delays. I can bring to you our special guest tonight, who is absolutely a phenomenal person. And I want you all to put your hands together and I want you to welcome him like you never welcomed anybody before. I want you to just bring him on, bring him on, bring him on, give him a big welcome and make him feel at home. Make him feel good being on this show. He's a winner already. Just let him know that he is. All right, just let him know you'll be looking out for him. That is Mr. Josef Michael Carr. All right, everybody, am I right? Hello.
Good evening. How you doing? Hello.
All right, hello, Mr. Josef Michael Carr, running for state representative of the 25th district. How are you this evening?
I am great. I am feeling fabulous. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the people who are listening to me. I really appreciate this time and opportunity.
Well, we are just delighted, and you're just, oh, you've got nothing but good news to bring to our good news show and our good news listeners. We'll be sitting back.
Don't bring me no bad news.
Don't bring me none, because we don't talk about no bad news on this show. It's nothing but good news, good music, and we talk about nothing but good news. All right. And you got some good news to share with us. Would you tell our listening audience a little bit about you?
Sure. I'm Josef Michael Carr, and I'm running to be the independent Democrat nominee for the 25th district of the state representative. 25th district is from 43rd Street down the lakefront to 118th Street and Avenue O. We extend as far west as Drexel, and then we do kind of a stair step all the way down till you get to Avenue O. I've lived in the 25th district all of my life. I am 51 years old. I met my wife in the 25th district. We met as Museum of Science and Industry tour guides in 1989. We got married in 1996. We have 3 adult children now, 25, 24, and 23 years old. I have been a financial professional in the 31 years, and I have a business. I'm a business owner of an accounting and bookkeeping practice within the 25th district. I love the 25th district. I love the people in the 25th district. These are my neighbors. I've been around these people all my life, and now I want to represent them.
That is outstanding. So that's why you're running to represent the people of the 25th district in Chicago.
Yes, that is absolutely the reason.
All right, you got the love, and that's the main thing is you got the love. The love is what'll get it.
Yes.
Okay.
All the time.
Yes, it will. All right. Now, I want to ask this question too. Do you feel that you're open-minded enough to work with both Republicans and Democrats to benefit all the people in the 25th district?
You know what? That's a question that I've had all my life. I attended Marmion Military Academy for high school. I was one of 4 African Americans out of a school of 365. Most of my classmates have grown up because their parents were Republicans to begin with. And most of them have grown up to be conservative or Republicans. And I'm running as an independent Democrat because I feel as if the Democratic Party needs to make some changes. And the Republicans that I know are good and decent people. I'm not talking about any of the ones that are conspiracy theorists. I'm talking about good old-fashioned Republicans. And I think the most important job of a state representative or a senator is to be able to work together to pass legislation. And sometimes you're not going to see eye to eye because you're representing your constituents. And if you're properly representing your constituents, you're not going to have the same issues that a rep in the Chicago area does if you're down in Peoria. So you have to be able to work together. And I'm somebody that's known as a coalition builder. And I think that working across the aisle is something that I'm going to be easily able to do.
I believe it too. I do. I love your spirit. I love how you love the people. And like we said, love is the first rule right there. So I want to touch a little bit on gun violence. With all the gun shootings that we hear about every day across the nation, where so many people are wounded and sadly so many lives have been lost to guns and gun violence. What is your stance on guns and the right that the Second Amendment gives United States citizens the right to bear arms?
Well, first of all, I have to say that me personally, I am against all type of guns. I'm a pacifist, and even though I went to a military school, I don't believe that in a civilized society we need to handle our disputes with guns. But being a representative, I have to represent the entire 25th district, and people want to have their guns and they believe in their right to carry guns. I just think that we should have some common sense gun laws. I believe that this show is going to air 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, we currently right now overcoming the tragedy in the Uvalde, Texas, when the 19 second graders were shot and the 2 teachers. And I don't believe that anyone should be able to walk in who is mentally ill, despite having a background check. This is a mental issue that they should be able to obtain automatic weapon. You know, these are weapons of war that tear people's bodies apart. Yes. These aren't handguns, but these are weapons of war that are actually on the streets of Chicago. And the streets of Chicago, people want to point to the streets of Chicago and say, oh, well, the violence in Chicago is worse than any type of mass murder. Violence is wrong regardless. You know, whether it's in the streets of Chicago or it's on the streets of Los Angeles or in the small towns down in Florida. You know, violence is wrong. So first you have to get to the root of that issue around gun violence. And first you have to look at how do we stop people from getting these guns that shouldn't have these guns because they're mentally ill.
That's true. And you know, instead of throwing them in jail, they definitely need some type of some help. They need counseling.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. It's going to take all of us,
Yeah.
everybody, to try to come together to try to figure this out. I was watching the news and I heard them say something about they had asked the mayor about bringing in the National Guard or the service military. And she had said, no, at this time, no. I don't know if that would be the solution or not.
I don't think that putting more police on the street is the right solution for any problem, first of all. I think that we have to get to the root of the problems, and more policing isn't an actual solution to problems. And I don't know, and I can't speak to the mayor's decision about when or when not to bring in the National Guard. I am not a proponent of the National Guard. What I believe is we need more money for mental health funding. And back in 2012, when the mental health clinics were closed, and at the time, Mayor Emanuel said that the federal government was going to step in and the feds were going to handle the mental health crisis. Well, they haven't, you know, and here we are, and it's been building up for 10 years. You have people that are homeless, people that are mentally ill, obtaining weapons of mass destruction. And I call a gun that is semi-automatic that can tear through a 10-year-old's body like it's tearing through tissue paper. I call that a weapon of mass destruction. And you're allowing someone who's 18 years old to pass a background check, and you know that he's got to be mentally ill to be able to get armor and to get rounds of bullets to go into a school and slaughter children.
Yes, yes. I think about an 18-year-old getting a gun, being able to go in with the credentials to get a gun when you have to be 21 years old to drink at a lounge or buy liquor, or now to even
Get
buy cigarettes. Right.
Get cigarettes, yes.
Right.
Yeah, but he was able to obtain a license and a firearm of that magnitude at 18 years old.
That's something that was a red flag right there, you know. Oh my God. Oh. Well, you know, I wish we could get back to the old times back in the day when I was just a young girl. I just loved the way they had at the schools, the teen, like you say, the teen hops.
Yeah,
and,
the sock hop.
Yeah, the sock hops. You
yeah.
know, I just love that because we were dropped off by our parents. And boy, I mean, when the party was over, and they had everything in there for us, you know, potato chips, hot dogs, sodas, the music was there. It was a lot of fun. It's a safe haven. We need safe havens for our children, and we need safe havens for our adults too. You know, I don't know if we need to have police on the outside, you know, of the event, but seems like we got to come together and think about some things where we can corral ourselves off away from the kids just kind of hanging out, you know.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think in respect to the 25th district where I'm running for state representative, there are not a lot of activities for youth to do. So let me talk about the 25th district a little bit. So unfortunately, it is a tale of two districts, you know, kind of like the tale of two cities. And you have a part of the district that is extremely well funded, and that is the Kenwood Hyde Park area. Whereas the South Shore area, where my wife Carr and I stay with our boys, further down south to 118th Street, doesn't have the same opportunities. There's not a lot of places for our youth to go. And because of that, we have higher crime rates, and we have less people who are educated, and we have more problems with food security, uh, more problems with transient housing. And these are the issues that unfortunately they're not being looked at seriously. They're only being looked at because they affect a very uh, smaller part of the district, which are more affluent and they vote. Uh, I'm looking to represent the entire district, not whether you're a voter or not. To me, constituents make up everybody who lives in that area. So whether you vote or not, I'm still interested in hearing what your problems are and your issues. And right now, in South Shore, we have a shooting at least once a day. So when you talk about someone that goes into a school and murders all of these children, that's tragic. You know, my heart stopped when I heard about that.
Yes.
It was just, you know, what type of person would do that? But then I was watching the news last night, and there was a gentleman that went into Lower Wacker Drive, and
Yes.
the person that was a homeless man, he poured gasoline on him and set him on fire.
Woo!
So is that any better than somebody who goes in and shoots up a school? Or is it still just mental illness that these people need to be helped? And I'm not saying, I shouldn't say these people, but what I'm referring to is the people that have mental health issues and need to seek help.
Yes. And you know, they did get rid of some of these places where they had facilities for people that had mental problems, and they closed a lot of those places down.
Mhm.
And so these people don't have anywhere to go but to roam the streets and do things that would destroy, you know, and kill. And
Yeah. And it's a terrible world that we live in. You talk about the show being about good news. I don't want to spend the entire time talking about something that has such a low vibration. But I think the best thing that I can do as a state rep is immediately try to work on putting a mental health clinic back in South Shore.
now that's
Uh,
good news.
that's good news, and that's why I wanted to bring that up
That
because yes, you're bombarded from the moment that you wake up with news on cable, on network news. Everybody is talking about one, who was shot, you know, what community did it happen in, or there's a war going on across the ocean that's impacting our supply chains to make it difficult for us to actually have food. It's raising all the prices, the supply chain issue. Or three, you're still in the middle of a pandemic that doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
absolutely.
Yeah, so your whole day is you're bombarded with negative news. So it's
Yes.
important to keep light of the fact that there are some good stories that are happening. And there are good people that are running for office, and they need to be given a chance because they're really willing to bring some new ideas to the public discourse.
And that's what we need is some new ideas. And listen, everybody, you're listening to the Good News Show. And our guest this evening is Joseph Michael Carr, and he's running for a state representative of the 25th district. Now that's good news. Keep on listening because he has more good news to share. All right. We want you to talk about healthcare and some of the other things that you're planning to do and what you would like to see happen.
Sure. So one of the reasons why healthcare is so important to me is I'm a cancer survivor. Uh, and that ordeal was really challenging for our family. And after I had cancer, I had a medical accident occur to me. I contracted necrotizing fasciitis, which is a flesh-eating bacteria disease from an outpatient surgery. And I was in a coma for 9 days, paralyzed for 2.5 months. And it took me a year and a half to learn how to walk and eat again. Those bills devastated our family financially. And there was a period of time where my wife, Carr, she had to go to our local church, our parish, to be able to feed our family for 2 weeks. Because all of the kids were very little at the time. I don't even think any of them were teenagers yet. But it was devastating for us. And we had a lot of medical bills from that experience that really financially hurt our family from succeeding. I always talk about the fact that I had a pill that I had to take 3 times a day, and that one pill was $920, and I had to take that one pill 3 times a day.
Wow.
So by the time I finished my entire rehab and coming out of rehab, my bill was in 6 figures. My hospital bill was in 6 figures.
Wow.
So, and that's why healthcare is so important to me. I think that Illinois is in a place where we can have a single payer healthcare system. And that's what I want to go down to Springfield to work on. That's the first priority for me, is to bring universal healthcare to Illinois, because I don't think anybody should have to choose between eating or their children eating or being able to take their medication.
Absolutely.
I think that that's a right. Healthcare is a right, and we need to just look at how we can make this better for everybody. Because once you fix healthcare, you're going to find a lot of the other areas that are causing the poverty in Black communities to be abated or at least mitigated. And when you look at mental health, making sure that mental health access is available to everybody, that people can have early cancer detection, all of these things really make you whole as a person. And that's good news.
That's good news. That's good strategy. I like your plan. You've got like A, B, C, D all the way through to Z.
Mhm.
And I love that. You're gonna be great. Hey. Whew, my God. So what else are you thinking of? Because
Well,
some things are unthinkable to other people.
yeah.
They don't think, what else could a state rep do? What
Yeah.
else?
Well, you know what? That's a good place to present another plan that I have around healthcare. And a state rep has the latitude to create legislation that will impact everyone in the state. And that's also the city of Chicago, since the city of Chicago sits within the state of Illinois.
Mhm.
So recently, I have been attending webinars with other state legislators throughout the country around public medication. So this is another area of healthcare that I want to champion down in Springfield. So public medication is, right now, when you look at insulin, people always who are diabetic and have to take insulin to sustain themselves. It's a life-threatening, if they don't get it, their life is threatening. It's considered a life-threatening drug.
That's true.
So the problem with insulin is that the pharmaceutical companies charge so much money because it's a commodity. They know that they have that person who has diabetes over a barrel to be able to charge them whatever they feel that they want to charge. And I don't know if you do this or not, but there is only like a monopoly on there's only 2 companies that produce all the insulin in the United States.
Oh my.
Now, I've been going through these webinars with other state legislators who are actually already sitting in office. They're already legislators. They're not candidates like I am, but they're actually working on this legislation in their states. And the idea of a public medication, and what that means is a state representative can write a law, pass a piece of legislation that will allow the state to manufacture, let's say, for instance, insulin. And when the state manufacture it, they can actually sell it and undercut those pharmaceutical companies. So they could sell it wholesale or retail to different people who have diabetes, so they wouldn't have to go to these pharmaceuticals, to this big pharma. Now, the second part of that public medication exercise is to know that if one state decides that they want to sell insulin, then another state can actually develop and manufacture another life-threatening drug, and there could be commerce between the two states for that drug, which brings revenue into the state. It allows people to actually save money on this life-threatening drug. And it actually, if you can't do a federal mandate to actually have a universal healthcare system, you can actually do it at the state level. So states could be more involved and actually champion healthcare for their citizens.
Now that's good news.
That's good news.
Okay. All right. I'm a mother that have raised diabetics. I had a diabetic son and he became diabetic at like 8 years old. And then his daughter, one of his daughters, became diabetic at 5 years old. And my dad was a diabetic.
Oh.
So they say I'm borderline, but I'm managed by diet and exercise. So I do understand what you're saying about the price and how much and how to get it and what you have to do sometimes to even get the medication.
Right.
They've had to turn to public aid, to get the medication. And sometimes they restrict you.
Oh, yes, they do. I was actually talking to someone on a door yesterday who works for the Department of Health within the Medicaid office. And when I explained to her about public medication, this is something that's new. Nobody in Illinois is really talking about it. It's being done on the West Coast. She loved the idea. Somebody that's in Medicaid said, you know what, that would really solve a lot of problems. So the job of a legislator is to two things. Either you advocate or you legislate. The problem with the incumbent that's in the 25th district right now, he doesn't really do either well. So I'm here to kind of fill that void. And I want to make sure that I advocate strongly for healthcare, strongly for rent stabilization, strongly for universal basic income. These are issues and things that I've been dealing with and worked on for like the last 7 years. I talked about my ordeal with cancer and that necrotizing fasciitis episode that I had, the flesh-eating bacteria, and how long it took me to get back into being able to walk and eat for myself. In that period of time, I started a nonprofit organization called Fathers for the Future. Feeling challenged as a father myself, watching my children having to go through issues of not feeling as if they had enough, watching their playmates, tease them sometimes for having, parents that, I was in a wheelchair. So I watched them go through several different things.
Yeah.
And it made me start to feel inferior as a father, as a man. No man wants to have his wife turn to him and say, you know what, the kids are hungry. What are you going to do?
Right.
It makes you feel some kind of way as a parent. Like,
That's true. That's true.
Maybe I'm not doing enough. What am I not doing that I could be doing? So I started this organization, Fathers for the Future, because I know how men feel when they cannot take care of their families and provide and be providers. So we teach financial literacy to Black and brown fathers between the ages of 16 and 30 years old. We've graduated over 300 students. We've gotten them second chance bank accounts for those that were not able to pass the check system. And we found some of them jobs. And, it was about the whole experience, life skills, fatherhood, being a provider. And that experience is kind of the foundation of why I decided to run for office, because I'm really just trying to level up. I'm doing the same work that I was doing 10 years ago with Fathers for the Future. Now I just want to do it as a legislator and down in Springfield.
Yes. Now, all that is good news on the Good News Show. We want to thank you for spreading the good news and for having such a good heart. You have such a good heart and such good thoughts of how to help the people and all of your constituents.
Yes.
I'm sure that it's a delight to hear what it is that what your plan is. And I ask God to bless you with your heart's desires.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And I'm so grateful and thankful to hear your story, how God have blessed you to overcome, and that his healing hands have been upon you, and that you are a living testimony and just a witness here today. That's all good news.
It's all good news.
Yes, it is.
Making me smile. It's all good news.
It's all good news. It's great to know a soldier, a man like you. It really is. Everybody, I want you to get this name in your household and do some more research if you need to. Go back over this video. But our guest tonight has been Mr. Joseph Michael Carr, running for state representative in the Chicago District 25, the 25th district. So, Mr. Carr, if there's anything else that you would like to touch on, you've got the floor. I'd like for you to touch on it, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Okay. The one last piece of my platform that I didn't speak about was rent stabilization. And this is important to me, once again, for personal reasons. That experience that I told you that my wife and I had, where we were on the verge of being in a breadline, I understand what it's like for people to not being able to pay their rent, and the cost of rent continuously going up, and you're not making enough money to meet those needs. And I'm hopefully I'm wrong about this, but with the pandemic, with the supply chain issues from the Russian and Ukraine war, I think that we're going to experience a very difficult time. I think another recession is on its way. You know, I'm a finance guy. I can read the tea leaves, and I think that the next couple of years are going to get worse than before they get better. And even for the people that are living in South Shore that are going to be affected by the Obama presidential center coming to Jackson Park, they're going to feel threatened because the rents are already starting to go up. And this was an issue back in 2018 when Representative Will Guzzardi wrote a bill that didn't pass out of committee to lift the ban on rent control in the state of Illinois. So what that means is the state of Illinois has a ban where no municipality can have rent control, and which means that the city of Chicago, which sits inside the state, can't even have a conversation and talk about some type of rent stabilization so people won't be affected, so they won't be evicted, so they won't have their rents go up, so they won't have to move. All of these issues, to me, work in tandem. They're all the same issue. And you know, Franklin D. Roosevelt had his second Bill of Rights, where he talked about being able to have a right to housing, being able to have a right to food. And all of these issues are the same thing to me. These are basic human rights. You should have the right to live in your place and not feel as if you have to be threatened to be forced out. So I want to continue that dialogue and that talk around lifting the ban on rent control. In my district alone, there were 77 precincts that voted in a referendum to lift the ban on rent control, and it wasn't lifted. And 75% said that they wanted lifted. And the current incumbent was the deciding vote in Springfield that killed the bill to lift the ban on rent control. Single-handedly, he decided that we can't even have a conversation about lifting the ban here in the state of Illinois.
Really?
He was the single vote that killed the bill. So that's what I'm running against. That's why I'm running against the incumbent, because I want to make sure that the people that are really the ones that are working hard, they're the ones that were considered the first line workers during the pandemic when it first started. The nurses, the grocery store clerks, all of the people that are not considered to be the quote unquote working class. Recently I saw, some information that the working class needs jobs. The working class doesn't necessarily need jobs. It's the people that are actually trying to improve themselves that need job training. I want to bring job training to the 25th district to make sure that I recruit people into the green economy jobs. I will recruit them myself into these training and apprenticeship programs, because I think that my office should be a resource to getting people the health care, the home, the housing that they need, and the education that they need. That should come through the state representative jobs. So with that, I'm open to any question that you might have, but I'm really happy that you had me on your show. Anybody that wants to get in touch with me, you can visit the website, carforrep.com. We're 2 weeks out to the election. So if you want to actually volunteer, you can reach out and volunteer that way. If you want to donate, if you like what my message is and you want me to be able to continue getting my message out, you can donate through the website. This is our movement. This is our time. This is our moment in history where things can really change. We talk about wanting change with the George Floyd protest, wanting change, wanting elected officials that actually represent the people. Well, this is the time. I'm that person that's going to represent you.
All right. It sounds like it's your season. It's your season. I love a song called It's Your Season to Be Blessed.
Yes,
While you bless, all right, while you bless the people, my God, while God is blessing through you, my God, you get blessed. And I'm just am thankful to know you. You are such an encouraging young man, and I am just so happy to have you on the Good News Show, sharing such great news, better than good. It is even great news. And I thank you so much. Everybody, this is Mr. Joseph Michael Carr. Get that name inside your head. Do more research. Go to his website, just as he have instructed you to. Learn more, and that's how we do better, is to learn. So this is what I wanted, is just to be an informative show, and you have just enlightened everybody out there that is listening, that lives in the 25th district in Chicago. Again, Joseph Michael Carr is running for state representative, everybody. So, hey, all right. Well, thank you. Oh, goodness. I just want to thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Hey, yay. Woo, 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 woo. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Thank you again. You stay blessed to your entire team. I ask God's light to be upon each of you, and that he will take you to the four corners of the earth and share nothing but the good news all over the world, that people will know about you. Bless you. All right. Hey, everybody. You listening to the Good News Show. Yes, indeed. And that was some good information that came across. So listen, it's about our time to end our show. Ooh, I don't want to leave you, but I know I got to go. That's all I can say is about tonight. It's been all about tonight, everybody. Yes, that's what it's been about. Mr. Joseph Michael Carr. It's been about him tonight, everybody. So listen, you all stay blessed, stay in love with one another, do what you can to help somebody, lend of that helping hand. That's all I want you to do is protect each other. Let's be on the lookout for one another. That's what we gotta do. Be on the lookout. Hey, and that's nothing but good news. You on the lookout. All right, everybody. I'm your girl. I'm the one of them anyway, who love you the most. You know, Gladys Knight had a song. She said, "You're number one in my book." Well, I want all of y'all to know that you're number one in my book. So, hey, until next week, whoa, you know I love you. And this is from Dan the Man. He loves you too. And he's really missing being here with us tonight. So have a good evening, everybody. Stay safe. That's all I want you to do. Okay, love y'all. Good night.